Hello all. So my name is Denushri. Today I have created a presentation on deep learning to detect the social media trolls using the digital forensics. So let me walk you through an abstract. So nowadays there are so many illegal activities that are being reported on the social media through various networks and various applications. So basically, this type of issues is called the cyberbullying or the trolling, which is getting worse in the social media. So nowadays, trolling has become a very common issue on the social platform. So in this presentation, the report is made by using the deep learning to identify such trolls that are being posted on social media. So my approach in this report is based on the text information that identifies the toxicity in the pictures using the AI models. So there's a methodology here that is called GLOW vector for word representation. This is basically used to improve the efficiency and also the capacity of the project. And also it also deals with the long short memory gated recurrent unit, which is the bidirectional variant. So these are very much related to this work. So this LSTM is having 0.92 training accuracy. So this is all about abstract. So now let me walk you through introduction. Nowadays there are so many crimes are happening in the social media, which is leaving some kind of digital evidence. So the digital evidence are can be accessed with wide variety of methods. So uh, a recent survey has been conducted by Smart Insights, in which most of the users are using social media. So, because of the much usage of social media, this paves the way for cyber criminals to commit such crimes. So, basically, the word evidence here. So, what kind of evidence are being collected in the social media? So, some the evidence can be like the conversations which are included from the mobile devices, the location tracking relation between one among and the timeline evidence. So all these basically are collected as a mobile evidence from the mobile devices. So what process includes basically in solving a digital crime? So basically first you need to know what crime has happened. So you need to get the data about what happened, and you need to process you need to work on that step by step, like what should we do in order to reduce that, uh, or else how to catch the criminal, and also analyze the data. For example, that might be the conversation, the location, etc., or the timeline. So in this way we can analyze, and we can electronically store this kind of data, so that it will be helpful for us in the future. So not only this one, but the forensic data can also be acquired by analyzing the social media content, like posts, the written comments and the videos. So this form of evidence can also be helpful for solving a case. Artificial intelligence and machine learning have a significant role in the digital forensics. So now, cyberbullying and toxic behaviors. So the what is the toxic behavior? So it's basically the negativity. So these are the major problems which are happening in the social media nowadays. So because of this, people are getting degraded and humiliated. Um, and this kind of trolling is also one of the pattern which is observed in the social media. So because of the comments, when some content is posted on the social media, he receives some comments. So that might be some disrespectful comments or the controversial, and he also basically gets harassed. So this is another type of trolling. So this is clearly known as the cyberbullying or the trolling. So in 2000 back in 2019 COVID-19 pandemic, on social media, this kind of cyberbullying and trolling has been happened. So in some instances, negative language circulates in the form of image through the social media, so this can be detected. So this kind of trolling also happened in the social media. so the numerous studies have been made to analyze this and the detection of patterns through the deep learning. So this process all involves applying the methods to extracted text and then checking for the trolling. Yeah. So next one is aim. So basically, what is aim of this project? So it is the concentrating on the embedded digital forensics, especially using the digital forensics. So and also the text from the pictures and attaching it into a text set. So this is the main aim of main aim of this paper. Um, now going through the approach which is used for the troll identification. Before going through the approach used for troll identification, I would like to say a few scientists work here. So the works indicate the app and the pre-processed content. So basically, I would like to tell about two scientists that have been working on the deep learning models and their accuracy rate. So basically, Silk has proposed a model on online toxic comments, and his expectations say that there are six types of toxicity comments which are being there. So his accuracy was about 98.7%. Hussein also purposed a model on pre-processing text and classification of the toxic comments, which indicates that the data cleaning process and also the removal of the toxic words which are there. So this is basically a whole thing called tokenization, and the algorithm used in this is a naive Bayes. This is with 95% accuracy. So now walking through the approach that is used to for the troll identification. So the main focus in the presentation is divided into two modules. The first one is the image text classification and the text classification. So in this, the image text is actually taken out using the Python Tesseract or the OCR support. It is the most common engine used with a high precision that will detect the English language. So this whole process is done using the deep learning, and also bidirectional GRU and bidirectional LSTM are the two models which are extracted during using the neural network. Next one is a flowchart continuation of this slide. So next one is a flow chart and the process involved in this. So first one is the data set. So so let me walk you through the data set. So basically there are so many public data sets available in the market which are created by the AI team for the purpose of NLP. So the data type is basically six consisting of six labels. So first one is the toxic, severe toxic, threat, insult, hating, and identity. So basically what happens here is there are two types of data sets. I mean, the data is split into actually two types, trained and the trained set. So after completing the whole process, again they both are merged, and this whole process is known as toxic. So that is all about the data set. So the data distribution. So in the data distribution, this is also again divided into two types, even and the odd distribution. So in this data set, binary classification is very necessary. So the data set which is available now is not even. So in fact, it is very difficult to find the even data set. So depending upon the scale of integrity, this can be a serious problem. So algorithm used here is the decision tree. So and two techniques are not other than that, two techniques are used here for sampling the data. So one is the oversampling, another one is the undersampling. So undersampling is used for detecting the instance from the class. So on the smaller data sets, basically undersampling is used because when there is so much of data, and when we need to remove lot of values from that, we can't use the oversampling. So only undersampling is used to clean the data set. So next comes the text cleaning. So in text cleaning, what happens is there will be a huge text with all the capitalized words and the lower letters. So basically what happens is when there is a huge text, it is broken into the it is basically it is being broken into the chunks. Mm, that is called the tensor lips. So here, if there is such a kind of big sentence, at first we avoid the capitalized words from that, and we separate the piece of text from the smaller one. So yeah, so we separate this piece of smaller text. We separate the piece of text from the smaller one. So characteristics also can be assigned as a token. By this, we can remove the comments that are larger than 150. Next is the data split model selection. So data split model selection is basically again divided into three parts: training, validation, and split. So in this method, in this method, what happen is you split the uh, text samples which are present into 100 parts. So they are actually the text is actually embedded in the images. That is, it is present in the images. So using some random fonts, we can split the toxic and non-toxic equal text. So this involves the recurrent neural networks, RNN. So other than RNN, we use here is the gated recurrent unit. So this type of RNN is basically considered for long term short memory. So basically LSTM will use a sequential data. Now coming through the flowchart which is given here. So in the flowchart, there is a backward layer, forward layer, input and output. So what happens what happens here? So basically the input is given from the input unit. So input gate basically shows what input is accepted. So output gates basically shows how much memory is used. I mean how much memory is updated. So and the forward layer gates. So in the forward layer gates, it will basically see what data should be dropped, and in the backward layer, it will see what data needs to be taken. So in this way, when the image is actually given as an input here, it will be processed. It will be processed. So when the image, so yeah, so when former gates, update gates, inputs. So yeah, when the image is given as an input here, it is passed through all the LSTMs, and we get the final output. So what does update gates do here? So it decides how much previous amount of memory is used. I mean, how much it is retained. So the forward layer is actually the combination of both input and the output gates. And also, so the whole module of this pipeline starts with embedding layers, which with the input data and output data. So the words here are passed through the input through RNN, which has 128 units. The result data is then passed into 64 and 16 nodes, which implements through which we get a processed image, and this is done with the help of sigmoid and hyperbolic target. So accuracy of this is 93%. So next, walking through the evaluation metrics. So basically in evaluation metrics, we use confusion matrix. It is having the four parameters. So in the confusion matrix, we have four outcomes, that is true positive, true negative, false positive, and false negative. So basically what is true positive? In true positive, the actual values and the predicted values both are actually positive. So that is true positive. And false positive, in positive, what happens is the actual value is predicted wrong and the negative values are positives. So the predicted value is a negative value, but the actual value is positive. In true negative, the predicted value is negative and it is actually a negative value. And in false negative, the negative values are as negative and the predicted value is also negative. So this is a false negative. So this is having four um, four parameters here: accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 measure. So by using these formulas, we measure the accuracy, precision, recall, and F measures. So now coming through the results of this paper. So these in this, the deep learning model was initially performed by only some comments. Not all the comments which are available are toxic. So few are also non-toxic. From this results, we create more appropriate deep learning model, and also we detect the bad comments in this. So in this, we basically take the text, we process it, and we check what is the is it a good or a bad text. So the process of extracting the text need to be improved on the longer basis. So Python Tesseract with OCR will not extract the whole text from the image. So nowadays, we are looking at many memes in social media. So in that, memes are very difficult to extract because of the curly fonts and the different languages that are available. So basically, the AI supports only the pure English language. That is the reason why from Python images cannot like Python Tesseract with OCR support will not extract this whole text from the image. So next, coming to conclusion. So in this conclusion or the problem solving, give in this my conclusions, and the problem solving gives you a knowledge, or a basic knowledge on what's happening on social media, and what is trolling, what is cyberbullying, and how measures are taken to avoid all this, and how digital forensics is storing the data into nowadays in today's world, and how we are using the digital forensics evidence for solving different kinds of crime. So the improvements can also be done in RNN with GRU and LSTM. So another word to how we extract the data from the images, and they can be sent. This is all about the presentation of the deep learning using the social media tools.